He probably fried his brain by smoking too much weed. Steroids he take. Who think he doesn't take steroids? I mean, he takes TRT, but he takes a whole bunch of other shit. That can be classified as steroids. And we don't know what it does to your brain. So it might seems like a stretch, but like from every clip that I'm seeing, like he always looks super tired and uninterested. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my show that nobody watches, but I'm still gonna do it because it's pretty fun to do. So anyways, today's video is about Theo Von realizing Joe Rogan is fully compromised. So for those of you who doesn't know what compromise basically mean when somebody like Joe Rogan has a podcast, there is somebody behind the scenes running the show because they have some dirt on him, and that those people behind the scene, we don't know exactly who they are. They could be the CIA or whatever, It's just a powerful group that runs the show because they have some dirt on Joe, and Joe doesn't have a choice to comply with the program, So basically he needs to have on his show the people he's being told to, and ask the question he's being told to ask, or the lack of questioning for that matter, like Cash Patel, for example, So anyways, we're gonna go take a look at that. But just before we get started, I would just say that I've never saw Joe Rogan as this moral compass where he needs to interrogate people in front of him and just talk and put everybody on the same page with morality. I've never seen him as such a guy. He's always been a guy that was speaking whatever was on his mind, But other than that, I never went to him for some moral guiding, But anyways, let's go take a look.
Netanyahu. Bill Clinton said Netanyahu wants war so he can stay in power.
For sure, dude. People call him the yarmulke Hitler. That's what they call him.
Who are these people?
Everybody does.
Which people?
Countless.
People?
Huh?
What are you saying?
What do you mean people? You talking about
What are you talking about?
black folks? What are you saying?
No. I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
Let's not draw conclusions.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so if you guys haven't seen it already, Theo Von just went on to Joe Rogan's podcast, and he pretty much exposed how Joe Rogan allegedly has handlers in the US government that have an iron grip on the narrative on JRE. Because Theo Von was super outspoken about Israel pretty much the entire podcast, along with the war in Iran and the billionaires in the Epstein files, as he seems to have fully jumped ship on the Trump train recently, which of course a lot of people find to be extremely annoying, because not even a year ago, Theo was whining and dining Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, playing grab ass with JD Vance and Donald Trump, and just in general, he seemed like a certified jester for that administration. But regardless of what you think about Theo saying all of this stuff on Joe's show, the one thing you can applaud Theo for is that he may have just single-handedly exposed how Joe is completely compromised by the Trump administration and the global reptilian elite.
But what also, it's all just a cat and mouse game. People are like, we'll elect the Democrats next time. It's like, but it's all the same shit. Has been happening forever. They haven't been helping anybody forever. They're letting fucking politicians slurp on kids. All of our fucking money goes to Israel, and they're using it to fucking genocide people. It's like everybody is scared out of their wits right now. It's like our religious leaders are afraid to speak out, and it's like it's a time where it's like Satan is amongst us, and our religious leaders are fucking talking about bullshit at the poll. It's just like, what is going? I don't know, man.
We got to get you off those antidepressants, son. You're losing your fucking marbles.
You think I am?
Come hang out with us. Just chill out.
I'm here.
Just chill out at the mothership tonight.
I do have to pee in a little while, but
You can pee.
I'm gonna pee in a minute, man.
We'll let you.
But no, people are just scared, dude. This is
They won't
that I
let you
hear
in
from
Canada.
people.
They won't let you pee until you give them your guns.
And so, if there's any clip that proves Joe Rogan's fully sold out these days, it is this one right here. Because he's fully aware that Theo has mental health issues. Yet, he still gaslights his supposed friend into thinking he's losing his marbles on his medications, just because Theo's criticizing this very elite class of people in charge of the world, and probably in charge of Joe.
I would just say that's just Joe Rogan being silly like he always does, you know? He always does this. And that's, I guess, one of the reasons I stopped watching him a long time ago is that he doesn't really take seriously some guests he has on, you know? Especially some people he knows personally, like Eddie Bravo. You know, I think all of y'all saw how Joe Rogan was giving so much shit to Eddie Bravo for his theories, you know? He was giving him so much shit and he was getting mad and frustrated in live TV, in live streaming. He was just being so mad at Eddie Bravo for his conspiracy theory, you know? But then, like, as time goes on and on, we can see that a lot of these theories have a lot of basis in reality, you know? Like this Pizzagate and stuff. You know, Eddie Bravo was talking about it a long time ago and Joe wasn't taking it seriously. And that's exactly what he does right now. He just doesn't take seriously the guests he has, especially people who are kind of naive in front of him, you know, like they display a kind-hearted type of personality. You can see, like, perhaps Joe is trying to gaslight them, or he just doesn't take them seriously, you know. But he always done this, so it's nothing new, honestly.
So anyways, I do believe Theo caught on quickly to what Joe was doing here, because he seemed to just double down on making Joe wildly uncomfortable with these talking points. Like when Theo brought up how Palantir's allegedly been helping Israel since 2014. When Theo said this, Joe just looked like he saw a dead body, and then he immediately casted doubt on Palantir's connection with Israel.
Dude, in Gaza, there was a lot of, like, I think it was a experimental grounds for a lot of insane new warfare type of possibilities.
Well, a lot of it was traditional missiles, right?
Yeah, but there's a lot of like we had a doctor one time podcasting and he was saying that there were like bullets that had gone down a child, like just crazy, like
Shot down, like from a drone that's above them?
yes, like something in the air. And he said that there were drones in the air all day. You know, there's that Palantir company just keeping tabs on everything that was happening. And
Palantir's involved in Gaza?
Palantir was involved in Gaza, yeah.
For sure?
Mhm.
Put that into perplexity.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting that Joe Rogan doesn't know about it. Like, it's well known from everybody. You know, everybody knows that Palantir was involved in Gaza since the beginning, pretty much. You know, so it's kind of odd that Joe Rogan, either he's playing dumb or he's really not educated on the matter and he's deliberately burying his head in the sand for whatever reason when it comes to, I wouldn't say Gaza, but when it comes to Israel and the chosen people. You know, he's clearly burying his head in the sand and he doesn't want to talk about it, you know. And it's kind of odd because Joe has always been well researched and up to date with information, but when it comes to the chosen people, for some reason, like, he's acting really stupid.
Like when Jamie brings up an article talking about it, Joe just instantly says it looks like a very biased article and that no one should trust it, which is so insane because it's a well-known fact that Palantir's technology is being utilized in Israel. It's even on Palantir.com. But Joe Rogan is so deeply afraid of Peter Thiel that he just plays super dumb to it all.
He looks like he was, breastfed by a
Israeli
drone.
government began using Palantir software in 2014. It significantly scaled up its partnership during the genocide in Gaza, which began in
The Israeli government began using Palantir software in 2014 and significantly scaled up its partnership during it. So they've been involved together for a long time, not even like only the assault on Gaza. It's been for 12 years they've been cooperating.
for sure a biased source just by the way they phrase that. So maybe that's not the best source.
I mean, it sounds like they have a good idea. It also sounds like they just put 4 words together that sounded great. Americans Friends Service
I
Committee.
read stuff like that and I go, what is that, a CIA-run company?
I agree.
Like,
You
know
have
what
no
I mean?
idea.
Is that the Patriot Act? You know what I mean?
So it's just so suspicious how Joe's acting to this information. Like, it honestly seems like he's doing everything he possibly can to make his handlers happy. Which is pretty funny because I actually think Joe's handlers have been upset with him lately. I mean, ever since that Dave Smith podcast Joe did around a week ago, where he was very anti-MAGA and whatnot, calling them a bunch of dorks and that he's embarrassed of associating himself with them, while also criticizing the Trump administration for their immigration policy, stating that the Obama administration was actually better in deportations. All of that must have pissed off his handlers so much that JD Vance literally said he was going to text Joe Rogan to tell him that he was wrong with a bunch of stuff that he said.
Here's the thing. Like, first of all, America is great. Make America greater, I'm down. But make America great again, and then it becomes a movement of a bunch of fucking dorks, because a lot of them are dorks. A lot of them, these really weird, fucking uninteresting, unintelligent people that have got something they cling to, and there's a lot of people that are just real, genuine patriots, and they're all lumped into this one group, and you got to accept the dorks too. Fuck that. Yeah. Like, the concept of making America great is a great idea, but as soon as you have a fucking team and you allow anybody to join up, you don't even have tryouts.
You're saying that Joe Rogan is wrong.
Yeah, but that's the point of the whole movement. That's the point of the whole MAGA movement. It was to make as much noise as possible. That's it. That was pretty much it, you know? Because it was kind of a response to the left and all their woke bullshit. Then, like, MAGA was like the answer to that. Just a battle of noise, pretty much, you know? Who's gonna beat the drum the loudest, you know? So it's kind of, it goes hand in hand, pretty much.
Because Joe Rogan yesterday was roasting the Trump administration, saying probably the most offensive thing you could say, which is that Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama are better at deporting people than you.
I did not see Joe say this. I'm going to text Joe because that is definitely wrong. So
that's almost an exact quote. So
really,
yep.
Okay. So
Joe says MAGA's full of dorks. What do you think? Do you consider yourself a dork?
Yeah, that's kind of disgusting to see, honestly. For me personally, I felt disgusted with it, you know, because as I said at the beginning of the video, you know, Joe was pretty much a free bird. He could do whatever he wants, say whatever he wants, and now you have some politicians putting out there that they're gonna go talk to Joe as if like they are his boss. I would be disgusted if I was Joe Rogan. I would be mad, you know. I would be, and it's kind of interesting because Joe at the beginning was bragging about the fact that he was relying on nobody, you know. So that was giving him the liberty to say whatever he wants. And now you have some high-placed politician who brags about calling Joe Rogan to give him 2 words. I would be disgusted personally.
This is MAGA's dorks.
I think we have many fewer dorks than the far left, but everybody's got some dorks. We love our dorks. We love our cool kids. We love anybody who wants to save the country.
So that basically confirms that there are people in the government with direct contact to Joe Rogan, who will indeed push their agenda onto Joe in order to have the upper hand in the media. So I think right now, more than ever, Joe is skating on extremely thin ice with these guys, and in turn was probably super annoyed that Theo dared to criticize his beloved administration. Like at one point in the podcast, he even said something along the lines of how he thinks Theo sounds like a doomsday freak and a really sad man, which could be seen as him subtly hinting to Theo that he should just chill out and stop talking about all that stuff.
He's been talking about like a internet bill of rights for a long time or something, like some guardrails on any of this shit. Mm-hmm. But it's like people are wondering, like, yeah, in 5 years, is money going to be worth anything? Right. Is there going to be some token like Sam Altman is talking about? Right. And what the does that even mean?
Right, what does that mean?
So anyway, I don't want to sound like a doomsdayer. Dude,
Too late.
Yeah.
Too late. That's what you sound
Do
like.
I sound like a sad person?
A little bit.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Let's talk about something else. Dude, you know what I was listening to today, bro?
What?
Well, I guess it was a night.
Don't sing it.
Okay.
And I think this may have clicked for Theo or something like that. Because whenever they were talking about some sort of bullshit topic, like Steve-O wanting to get breast implants, out of nowhere, Theo would just put Joe on the spot with questions about the Iran war and the administration, which were seemingly loaded questions to get Joe to criticize his handlers with Theo. So whether this was done by design by Theo, or it was simply just on his mind and he wanted to talk about it with Joe, it was just amazing to see Joe get so uncomfortable with these topics.
Steve-O almost.
Yo, to be honest, it's kind of hard to tell that Joe is being uncomfortable with Theo. Or maybe it's just me. I haven't watched a full show of Joe Rogan in years, you know? Because his show really changed, you know? It's really not like before. But from what I'm seeing, like, I don't know if he's been comfortable or he's just old and uninteresting anymore, you know? That's my personal take. I think Joe, he's just like a boomer pretty much. He's old and he doesn't have that grit anymore, you know? He doesn't want to go after it. So everything he does, it's by habit, you know? He's not really into it. So that's why perhaps like he doesn't want to go too deep in it with Theo, because I don't know, man. He's just old. You know, he probably fried his brain by smoking too much weed, you know, and all the steroids he takes, you know. And for those of you who think he doesn't take steroids, I mean, he takes TRT, but he takes a whole bunch of other shit, you know, that can be classified as steroids. And we don't know what it does to your brain, you know. So it might seem like a stretch, but like from every clip that I'm seeing, like he always looks super tired and uninterested, you know. So for me, I think he's just getting old. Anyways,
Got a pair of fake tits.
Did he?
Yeah.
That's too much.
I agree.
That's too much.
But he's in that, you know, the constant perpetual state of having to one-up himself. Doing something more and more ridiculous every time.
What do you think is going to happen? You think we're going to be okay?
I hope so. Of course. I don't know.
Do you think about it?
I'm confused. I can't believe we went to this war. When we started bombing Iran, I was like, this can't be true.
And what about Lebanon now?
I know. Israel's invaded Lebanon. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, just fucking stop. Like, what do you need?
Well, they're trying to, supposedly, they're trying to stop the terrorists.
Yeah, that's crazy, though, if you're the fucking terrorist. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to stop them, fucking stand in front of the fucking mirror and start there. But also, what do I know?
What do you know?
You're right, I don't. But it's all just like, there's got to be some way that we're better than this.
So the best part about this podcast wasn't exactly everything what Theo was saying.
so everybody knows what Israel is doing, you know. They want to take more and more land to create the greater Israel. That's not even a secret. Like, even the least educated person would kind of know about it, you know. So as I'm saying, the lack of emotions from Joe and the lack of interest, it's really him, I guess, being old, you know, like, and uninterested for, it doesn't even matter like what the subject would be. Like, he just, maybe he's really compromised, you know. That I don't know for sure, you know. And it's really hard for me to go on theories without any hard proof, you know, because now the best thing we can do is just to theorize. But from what I'm seeing from Joe, and the reason why I stopped watching him a long time ago, is just because his show became super boring, you know. He's uninterested anymore. He has some interesting guests, but Joe is not interesting anymore, you know. That's the thing with him, and that's what I'm seeing right now.
I mean, it's fantastic that he's now fully on board with criticizing these people, but what I'm enjoying more than that is how Joe was completely caught off guard by it all. Like, it was almost as if Joe thought Theo was as compromised as him, since, as I mentioned before, Theo was cozying up with the Epstein guys all last year. But just like Andrew Schultz and Tim Dillon, who also had people in the administration on their podcasts, Theo has officially jumped ship. So out of the 4 comics in the Rogan sphere who helped Trump get elected, Joe Rogan's really the only last one still in constant communication with these guys. So I genuinely think he was displeased with Theo here. I mean, even the way he ended the podcast was a bit pissy and awkward.
It was just like a really well-made show.
Yeah. That show was fascinating. He did it.
All right, dog, we got to wrap this up soon.
Dude, that's fine with me. I thought you were. I was staying here because you're here.
No, I love you.
I love you
but
too,
I have
man.
things I got to do.
Me too.
Are you going to be around tonight, or are you going back?
I might stop by.
And again, a lot of people are split on Theo.
Yeah, that was an awkward ending.
All of a sudden speaking out on what's wrong with the people he helped get elected and whatnot. But regardless of what you think about Theo, guys, I think it's safe to say that we all love seeing Joe Rogan being put on the spot like this. Like the way he would question Joe about Trump and the war was just so satisfying to listen to.
Or something
100
crazy.
million?
Or 28 million. I'm trying to find it in this article. It doesn't
Let's
say
not
it.
comment until we have the specifics.
Joe, do you think that things would be any different with America's relationship in the Middle East right now if the Republicans hadn't won the election, if Trump hadn't won? Or do you think it's all the same?
It's a good question.
You think it's all the same, like Geppettos in the distance, like running the strings, and it's all
the last administration funded the proxy war in Ukraine.
right?
200 million.
And they
So
were
200 firm tied to Kristi Noem secretly got money from $220 million DHS ad contracts.
So at the end of the day, Joe Rogan's the only guy who's dumb enough to not see this coming from a mile away with Theo. Like according to Brendan Schaub, Theo is literally neighbors with Candace Owens now. So he has her in his ear all the time.
Just the guy in France.
And her
saying his
neighbor's
wife's a
Theo. Her neighbor's Theo. Her and Theo live like next door to each other.
Candace Owens?
Yeah.
No fucking.
They're super close.
crazy.
For real?
Because I was at Tucker Carlson's Christmas party.
What?
Yeah.
How did you get that invite?
Who knows, man?
Theo.
No, I didn't know Theo was going to be there, but I go, and someone wanted pictures of me and Theo goes, let's get a black in here. I'm like, oh, dude. He goes, Candace. I'm like, but I didn't know they knew each other. I'm like, hey, dude, fucking cut it. And then she's like, oh, laughing. And I was like, oh, how you know Candace? He's like, oh, dude, that's like, she's like a fucking sister. He's like, the kids call him Uncle Theo and shit. He's over there like 4 days a week for dinner and shit.
And he's also completely offended that the official White House account on Twitter used an out-of-context video of Theo for one of their ICE propaganda pieces. So of course Theo was going to ambush Joe like this out of nowhere about the anti-Israel stuff. And honestly, it was really nice to see. Because Joe Rogan is...
But it's kind of crazy that it has to be an ambush. I mean, is Joe really that compromised, like, to that point? I mean, what are they doing behind the scene? Like, are they giving him money, or they have some dirt? Because everything that Theo was talking about is pretty much what's in the actuality day to day, you know? You go on X, everybody talks about this shit, you know? Everybody talks about the Middle East and the Trump administration, but it's like normal. There is nothing like to hide. So I don't see that. That's why it's hard for me to understand why would Joe would hesitate to talk about it, because it's everybody talks about it, you know? It's like mainstream. To not talk about it, it's like, it's kind of weird. That's why I keep saying that he's just uninterested, and his show in general is uninteresting, because, you know, everything that's mainstream, like Joe looks like he doesn't show any interest, you know? Like his facial expression stays the same all the time. Like he looks high all the time, you know? I think he stopped smoking weed or whatever, but he looks high all the time, you know? Maybe he's in a permanent state of being high. I don't know, but it's hard for me to believe that he's being compromised. Like, that's mainstream. Like, there's nothing to hide, you know? Everything that Theo brought up is like mainstream now, so why would that make him feel uncomfortable?
Is on a super tight leash with the US government right now, especially because if he wasn't, he'd probably be on board with everything Theo.
Yeah, that picture is crazy. Like, when you're in the presented office, all suited up, I mean, I think it speaks a lot to where Joe is at right now. He's fully part of the Matrix, I guess. You know, he became an agent. Look at him. He really became an agent. Yo, I didn't saw that picture. But here's the boss. You know, one of the boss, you know. That's the boss that everyone is allowed to see. But there is another boss behind him with a small hat. You know? And Joe became an agent.
Was saying. Since, to put it plainly, Theo was pretty spot on with all this stuff, as he was just reiterating what everyone's been thinking about it and speaking about it online as well. So Joe was really put on the spot in this episode and had no idea Theo was going to go off like this, which again is pretty dumb of Joseph, especially since he had Theo on not even that long ago and was also completely tilted whenever Theo brought up something critical of Israel.
They got me.
How much longer does Israel let us stay alive, do you think? That's the big question.
Why were they?
What did you say? Is that AI?
What are you saying?
That's Sora?
Fuck are you saying?
I didn't say anything.
What are you saying?
Huh? Talking about Israel Adesanya.
Oh, well, he loves you. Don't worry about it.
Good call.
Fuck are you saying, son?
Okay, now Joe looks really not scared, but he looks really surprised and I don't know what the fuck was that.
Well, he loves you. Don't. Why were they?
What did you say? Is that AI?
Yo, he looks uncomfortable as fuck. Yo, I never saw that clip because I don't care about Joe anymore. But yo, that's his reaction is odd.
What are you saying?
That's Sora?
Fuck are you saying?
I didn't say anything.
What are you saying?
Huh? Talking about Israel Adesanya.
Oh, well, he loves you. Don't worry about it.
Good call.
Fuck are you saying, son?
Yeah,
Okay, yo, he's really scared, bro. What the fuck is that? Now, like in this clip, things are really more clear. Like he really looks uncomfortable and borderline scared. What the fuck is
What
that?
did he say? What did he say about the Epstein files?
What did he say?
This is just photos of Nancy Pelosi with JFK. Think of that. That was before we didn't go to the moon.
Yeah.
It was 1963.
That was before Israel didn't kill him.
You think so?
I didn't say anything.
I heard you say Israel killed him.
You did?
That's what I heard. Maybe
Jamie, did you put something in this?
They didn't. The glasses. They didn't do it.
Oh, before Israel didn't do it. Oh, I see what you did. I think...
I didn't say anything.
So yeah, I mean, I'm usually pretty critical of Theo, but I must say it was awesome to see Joe so uncomfortable on this podcast. But anyways, guys, thanks so much again for taking